can see it's pushing out the dirt. See, it's white, now it's pushing out the dirt in certain spots, getting it nice and clean.
In this video, Jordan lets me tag along on an air conditioner tune-up for one of our club members. When he arrived, the homeowner told him he didn't think the AC was cooling properly, so we also get to watch him do a diagnosis and figure out what's wrong with the air conditioner. Now I'll let Jordan take it from here to explain everything he's doing.
So every tune-up we do, we want to include a furnace check and an air conditioning check. To a certain extent, we'll look at the most common failures of a furnace. Make sure flame sensor's cleaned, all your hoses are blown out, make sure there's no visible water anywhere, things that could cause a furnace breakdown prematurely. So each time we're not ignoring one side of your system. All I'm checking is to make sure all my connections are tight in my variable speed motor. There's connections on this side and there's two safety switches on the back side of it. I want to make sure that those are not disconnected, anything's come loose. I also want to check the fan blades for dust to make sure that we're not getting any abnormal amount of dust in here. Also, making sure the boot's still connected good so we're not pulling in dirt after the filter. Check your temperature rise, temperature drop. Yeah. So you see they're the same temperature. Maybe that's why it's not working. Oh, feel that? That's really, really hot.
Oh, and that's our refrigerant line?
Yep, so the fan's not on outside. So, we need to go outside. That may be your problem, Roger.
What?
This pipe is really hot. So what it's telling me is it's not removing heat. So, the fan outside probably is not running. So we'll go take a look at that real fast. Hear how loud it is?
Yeah.
So the fan's not turning. You see that? Fan's not spinning at all. I'm trying to see if I could spin it loose. What we need to check here is capacitor and verify that it's okay, or if we have a fan motor issue. Yeah, the fan wasn't spinning. It's either the fan motor or the capacitor is not.
Well, I was having heat.
Oh yeah, so you were able to heat, but as far as air conditioning goes, it wasn't removing the heat that the air conditioner was absorbing.
Okay.
So it wasn't actually. It was moving refrigerant. Everything seemed to be going okay on that front. It just was trapping the heat back in here, so you were getting lukewarm air back to your air conditioner.
Well, yeah.
Was this the first time you turned it on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, like I said, when I got back, it was about 77, so
Mhm.
I thought, well, I'll turn it off, and I knew you were going to come back, or come out today, turn it on and see what's going on.
What's going on with it? Yeah. So I'm checking the capacitor to see if it's okay. So 5 microfarads out of 5. So it is okay. Whoops. 5 microfarads out of 5. That is okay. So now we'll check the compressor side of it. 47. So this is a 45.5, which is okay. So the capacitor seems to be okay, Roger. It looks like, what it looks like instead though is that the condenser fan motor needs to be replaced. So it's given it enough capacitance to get it going, but the motor itself, bearings inside of it, is kind of giving out. It's not spinning the way it needs to. When I got out here, it was completely stopped.
Okay.
What I did was I gave it a light spin on the blades. Sometimes when the capacitor's out, it can't get going. So it's a quick test without me opening anything up to know that is it the start that's having the issue, or is it actually the motor running that's having the issue? And it looks like it's the motor running. When we replace a motor though, you get the motor and capacitor. So the start capacitor, if it needs to be replaced, it gets replaced with it included. But yeah, it looks like what your issue is now is your fan is going out. This is a OEM motor. This is what would be on it originally. 830 single speed, 830 RPM. So let me see if I have one on my truck. Furnace is 1 year, condenser and coil are 9.
Okay.
Yep, so let me make a quick phone call I got a bad condenser fan motor. It's a interesting one. It's a nice little small one. We'll get him to pick it up and he can bring it out. Sweet. Thank you. Bye. Hello? Still on hold. Beautiful. Can I give you a model and serial? And I believe my gentleman Carter is there, and if we could just send the motor with him. And could you check, is there a current parts warranty on that? It's not? Okay, so it was a 5. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Yeah, I gotta go talk to him about price real quick. Make sure he's okay with that. So I got a lot of people to where I've been there 3-4 years. So it's like we have 4-year-old conversations. We continue and yeah, it's nice. I definitely enjoy it. It's my favorite part of the job.
Yeah. What's this stuff? Just wash?
This is a condenser coil cleaner. So you put it in and you dilute it with some water. And what it's going to do is there's really tight aluminum fins. And what this does is it gets in between and it loosens up the dirt in between those fins so that we can get a clean that a homeowner by himself could not achieve. Just spraying it with a hose gets surface dirt off all right. But when we're out here, we're spraying this coil cleaner on there to really get a deep clean and clean out what would be the lungs of the air conditioner. So make sure it can breathe right. So the heat of the summer, it's not overworking itself. So now I'm just going to wash it out. This is something a homeowner could do themselves safely, but what I would highly recommend is 2 things. Make sure the system is off at the thermostat. I would not advise messing with any high voltage, any power like that. So the best thing to do is shut it off at the thermostat. Make sure that the fan blades are off, everything from there, and take a nice light stream of water and just go over the fins, just get the surface dirt. I would not recommend taking apart any of the equipment for your safety and just for the safety of the equipment itself, getting back together properly. So you can take a nice light stream of water, go at it from an angle, and gently get all of the surface dirt off in kind of a back and forth motion. This I would recommend being done once, maybe in the middle of the summer, just as you've observed a lot of surface dirt on the fan. Other than that, it is not necessary. We do a very good thorough cleaning every time we come out for our maintenance. So do not feel obligated to clean it. It is something that is more of a choice, and if you decide that it needs it, you feel free to go ahead. Find my hole where the water comes out. Here. But yeah, cottonwood, exactly what it is, yeah. We take these bad boys off and get it nice and clean. Get everything cleaned out of there. Get all the grass that had built up over many, many mows.
Yeah.
See how the water goes right through there. Same with air, it has to be able to pass through clearly.
So if that's all gunked up, the air's not getting out.
Nope. Nice water. They're gonna be YouTube famous. This is the coil cleaner. So this is what it's getting in there nice and deep to clean out all of the dirt that's still stuck between that the water couldn't get out. I got a brand new air conditioner when I'm done, Roger.
Oh, they get the motor?
Yeah, motor just got in.
Okay.
So you can see how in the areas where it's a little more dirty, how it foams up in the corners that were dirty to begin with. A little bit inside you could see some of the foaming action of it, but it's cleaning It's attacking some of that dirt. Absolutely. It's diluted probably 10 parts of water to one part coil cleaner. You can see it's pushing out the dirt. See, it's white, now it's pushing out the dirt in certain spots, getting it nice and clean. You can see the water run brown. Grab some sandpaper. A lot of these have rust on them from the rain. So if you try to take this motor off without taking that rust off, it'll get stuck. So getting the shaft of the motor nice and clean just helps get that motor off much easier. So is there a lot of good fishing down at the Ozarks?
Yeah.
So a quick sanding makes that what would be a hard process much easier. So you can hear the bearing. It's all loud, it's whining a little bit. So really important is you want to make sure that you get the fan blades exactly how they were when you took it off. And if you do not, it won't pull up the correct amount of air. So motor is the exact same, so we don't have to account for any difference in size of motor. Is that what you do too? You have a cabin up there?
Yeah, there's a bass up there that are just big.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where did you go that one time you were talking to me a couple years back? You went to a cabin somewhere. Was that
Grand
Canada?
Lakes,
Grand Lakes.
Oklahoma. We go there every year too.
To go fishing?
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Catch a lot of white bass down there.
So, yeah, again, I wrote the measurement on the box to get a nice, make sure that my fan blades are at the exact same depth. Since that being the original motor, it's got a nice good airflow through there, so now everything's gonna work the way. If you put it on incorrectly, you're gonna have airflow problems because it'll push out the side, it won't come out of the top. So this is ideal for this size. Get the refrigerant charge checked, and you will finally have your AC back. I don't think for my first bass boat or my first boat I'm gonna go new.
Fish and ski, or you could get a
150 horsepower.
yeah, get a full of ski.
This first one is important to get in right, and the rest of them fall in line, but the first one's always tough. I want to make sure that my gauges are set to the right refrigerant, 410A, so we have the proper pressures. Connect the hoses down at the bottom. Purge all the air out of them. Then we'll hook up our temperature probes. All right, now we find out if I did it right. I'm joking.
Oh.
So I'm looking at the indoor humidity and wet bulb. Wet bulb number I'm going to use to figure out what my superheat needs to be so that my refrigerant charge is proper. So it looks like we're at 63 degree wet bulb. Let's go downstairs and check the temperature difference. So now it's no longer hot. So we're going to check the temperature difference between my incoming return air and my outgoing supply after it's run through the air conditioner. So we have about 72 degree air coming out and 53. So it looks like we're at about 19-degree temperature drop, which indicates we have the proper temperature drop for a properly working air conditioner. So that's good to go. Now we can check the charge, and we're going to look at the outdoor temperature. So what I'm doing is I'm going to use the indoor wet bulb, which I believe was 62, and we're about 65 outside. So ideally, we want to be around 21 to 24 degrees of superheat. If you look here at our refrigerant charge, we see that our evaporator coil is above freezing, and our superheat is right around 30. So around 5 degrees off, which we're right about where we want to be. Well, what this is telling me that it's operating properly. It's removing the right amount of humidity, and it has the right temperature drop that he needs to cool down his house on any hot day. So what I'm doing now is I am putting the refrigerant that are in my gauges back into the system, so I'm not taking any refrigerant out of this system. So each time I want to check the charge, but at the same time leave it with the same amount of refrigerant that was in here when I showed up. So all I'm doing is purging my gauges, getting all the refrigerant out of them. Now with the coil clean, the motor running, our tune-up is complete. Today we arrived to do a normal routine maintenance check. When I arrived, I did my introduction to the homeowner, and he explained to me that yesterday he turned it on for the first time, and it just didn't seem to cool down the house very well. He mentioned that it was around 77 when he arrived. He had it on for 3 to 4 hours, and it went down a degree. When I went downstairs after turning on the system at the thermostat, I noticed that the pipe was very hot. When that pipe is very hot, it means that it's not removing heat. So what we needed is to run outside quickly, and I realized that the motor was not running. Our routine maintenance quickly turned into a repair call. What I did was I checked the capacitor. Is the motor starter. It's what starts that fan motor and gets everything running. And we quickly realized that that was okay, so it meant that the motor was no good. Got it all fixed up pretty quickly. After that, we were able to continue with our maintenance. I got everything washed out, checked charge, and checked amp draw on the motor to make sure everything was okay. After that, the routine maintenance was complete, the homeowner was happy, and everything seems to work well.